In this video, we are going to get introduced to what is HTML, what is a web page built of, and what all elements can we see in a web page. So to understand all of these things, let us first of all take up a use case of how exactly and what exactly is a web page built of. So as you can see, the Google's web page currently in front of you. So what exactly this web page must be built of? There must be something which must be going behind the scenes so that this web page is rendering on the browser, right? So we need to understand that what is a web page going to be built of. Before we even discuss that, let us try to understand it from a real world perspective. Now, what is the very first step that you take when you're going to construct a new home for yourself? You're going to prepare the structure of that home first of all, right? Similarly, you will need to create the structure of a web page as well before you start doing any styling or the other aspects to it. So the structure is the first and foremost thing that you're going to get started within a web page. So what is a web page going to be built of is something which is going to be taken care by HTML. Very shortly, we are going to understand what is HTML. Before that, let us also try to understand what all things can you see on a web page, what all elements can you see on a web page. So if you carefully focus on the Google's homepage, what exactly are the elements that are available over here? Well, you can see certain images like this Google's brand logo. You can see your Google account's profile picture over here. You could also see certain links like Gmail or Google Images or Google Search or all these different languages links. Now, whenever you click on one particular link, you're going to be redirected to some another web page. What else is available? We have a search input. So if you type in something over here and click on enter, accordingly, the results would be displayed on a separate URL. Similarly, what else is there? We also have some buttons available. If you click on this particular button, there will be a pop-up opening up. If you click on this particular button, you will be redirected to some other page. So different buttons on a single web page might have different functionalities associated with that, right? So this is exactly what we need to take care of. Now, what all elements can be present on a web page? Mostly the things like these. Maybe we can have some images, links, inputs, and buttons, and each of them might have their own set of functionality associated with them. Now, a button can be used for a particular function, and another button on the same page can be used for some other functionality. The best example would be the same Google's homepage. Clicking on the Google search button taking you to another URL, but clicking on this icon simply just opens up a pop-up. So two separate things on a same page with different functionalities. So these are the general kind of elements you will be able to see on any type of a web page. Now, how exactly do you build such pages? You're going to do that with the help of HTML. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Now it is going to be the standard markup language for creating your web pages. So as I've told you, for creating the basic structure of your web page, you're going to make use of HTML. Now it is responsible for the structure of your website. About, let us say you want to have a particular section on the left side of your web page and another section on the right side of the web page. So all these kind of basic structures about which particular element has to be placed at which side is something you're going to build with the help of a structure. Now it's going to be made up of different set of elements, which is going to tell the browser what and how to display these elements. So if you want that icon to appear on the top right corner, if you want a brand logo to appear on the middle of your web page, all of those things, the placement of them is something which can be handled easily with the help of structuring, and structuring in web development is done with the help of HTML. So it contains all the information like the structures, what all elements it contains, all the content that is going to go under that particular section, what are the styles associated with it, what are the different set of fonts we want to use for showing different set of content. So these are all the things which are handled by HTML. So if we again go to Google's web page over here, so as you can see in this page, what exactly can we observe? We have a different set of elements. So here we have this particular image, we have a link, we have an icon on click of which this kind of a pop-up opens up. If I click on the sign in button, I might be redirected to some other page. If I click on the mic button, something else might pop up, right? If I click on this button, something else might open up, right? So if I type in Google Drive and I click on enter, did you notice we are redirecting to some kind of an another page? So this is exactly how different elements can perform different set of functionalities on a web page, and the structure of them is going to be handled by HTML. So this is exactly how HTML works.